I just happened to be in town, and I'm honored to be here. Let me just share a few words for this beautiful, beautiful graduation. Because you guys, the class of 2012, are the first all 21st century educated students in America. Give yourselves a hand. And so you got to help us bring the rest of our country and the rest of our world into the 21st century. In New Mexico, there is a huge disparity of educational outcomes. And in New Mexico, as you know, it's not heavy migration, but it's actually Latinos who have lived in New Mexico for decades and centuries. So you have non-Spanish speaking Latino students graduating at a far less rate than the white population in the exact same classroom, exact same books, exact same language. And something is wrong with that. And the reason that's happening, I believe, is because those students, those Latino students, don't know what you know. They're not exposed to what you're exposed to. The only reason I was able to go to Seattle Central and UW and then to law school is because informally my tío and the Centro and the leaders of Proyecto Saber back in the day taught me about Latino history, who I was, where my place was in the world as a citizen of this country, as a citizen of the world, as a Latino. It's no coincidence that God made the most powerful country in the world, the most diverse country in the world. And it was a bummer when the United States invaded my homeland in New Mexico, but that guaranteed that Latinos are at the table in the United States. And now we have the power to elect a president of the United States. So all you guys that are 18, be sure to vote this November. Because we know that there's a lot of fear out there. When you guys are viejitos, you guys get to tell some cool stories because you guys grew up in the greatest economic recession of our lifetimes and hopefully your guys' lifetimes as well. And it's some tough times out there. Real tough times economically, people losing their job and whatnot. And every single time you've read it in the history books and now it's come back to fruition, when there is a recession or an economic crisis, the anti-immigrant sentiment rises in this country. And so our friends in Arizona, our friends in Alabama, they're freaking out. You have opportunist politicians driven by fear, putting policies into place. There is a beautiful bridge between Washington and Albuquerque, Washington, and New Mexico. Because of the Centro and other relationships, it is no coincidence that only 2 states in this country have the sanity and the reasonableness to put public safety above racism and anti-immigration sentiment. Washington and New Mexico are the only 2 countries that allow Latinos or non-citizens to get driver's licenses to drive lawfully in the state. So when that bill came across my desk in New Mexico on the State House to take away driver's licenses from immigrants just so a few politicians could get reelected, because of the strength of El Centro, because of the strength of Washington, the vote was 2-2, and I voted to kill that bill, and now immigrants have the same rights as we do in driving the country. In closing, just, man, high school graduation, that is awesome. You guys are beautiful. You guys know what a lot of people don't know. Sooner or later, every high school in this country is going to have Proyecto Saber type programs. The books that they're banning in Arizona is short-lived. They'll slowly pull their head out with our help. And we will be at the table when the decisions are made in this country to bring sanity and reasonableness to our world. I love you guys. Thank you. Thanks for making me a part of it. The world is yours. Congratulations, 2012.